Hi, thanks for coming back to my channel. We are continuing today on the second book of Rox's Journal of Stitchery Textile Tales, and I'm working on the book Aesop's Fables, and the first fable I'm working on is the goose with the golden egg. And in my last video I did some cutting out of fabrics to layer up for the fabric applique. So I've done a background and I've done the goose and the nest, and then so when I've been off camera I've stitched the words of the saying, the moral, greed can destroy the source of good fortune. So I used a variegated thread, so it's come in different colours. And so today I'm going to carry on stitching the details in the goose and adding some texture to the nest. So I'll probably do that with some music in the background. So I've stitched around his wing shape, but I'm going to try and use some of the until you get to the petals. And you can cut them off. It's quite vintage. And I just thought that you could lay them on top of each other to make some feathers. Sort of following the shape that you've just put in. And I think that will add something to it. So I'm going to stitch that down. With a neutral thread. I'm just going to sew it at the base, so there's some movement, it's still free to sort of move about. So just a couple of stitches at the base. Overlap with the next one. I might do 3. Just sew it down here. One more, I think. Put that one underneath. Catch that one under there. Can pin them down, might be easier. So, and I might just sew them down a little bit at the top as well, following the shape that you've drawn in. Stitch in this section here too. Just to hold it in place. And you can sew on top of it. You could add some feathers on that as well, but I quite like that. And then I'm going to just outline these feathers on his tummy. Or should I say her tummy? Remember, the lines will be removed with a hot iron because it's using a friction pen, so the lines will come out. Just give some shape to it. I'm not going to add much more detail to the feathers. I'm not going to thread paint this goose. And I've got to find a nice orange for its beak. And add some detail to its eye. Oops. Thread the needle. Tie it off at the back. There we go. So I've got an orange here for its beak. This is a thicker thread. These needles have got quite good size eyes. They're chenille needles. Just fill in its beak. You can put a bit of detail with black over the top. I'm just using short and long stitches for the beak. Colouring in basically with thread. You just follow the shape of your drawing. Doesn't take long to fill up the space because it's a thicker thread. Just fill it up with a combination of short stitches, long stitches, and then you can outline parts of the beak with black or dark brown afterwards. Just building up texture. This is what I'm going to do with the nest, is build up texture. You can see it's got a cute, I might do it a little bit, because I've got a little bit of a white border, a bit of a seam allowance after I stitched it down. I'm going to go over that as well. So okay, at the bottom I think it just needs a bit extra on the top. Well, I need to rethread, let's see. fine. And put a little bit of black in the eye. But what I'm going to do off camera is just do some more stitching. I might do it with some background music so you can see, just to add some texture to the nest. But what I wanted to just show you is how to do a title of the page. So this is going to be called The Goose with a Golden Egg. And instead of stitching it, I've got some stamps. This is a stamp set that I've purchased. It's a wooden stamp set, and you can use a ink pad. I'm not going to wash this, so it doesn't have to be one that's specifically for fabric, but you can get fabric ink pads, but I'm not too worried about that. So you can just, I'm going to just stamp the words here. So I'll start that to show you. You might want to just draw it out first to see if it fits, but I've had to practice on a piece of paper and it's okay. You can put something hard underneath just to give it something to rest on. It's easier to press down. So, and I like that you can see the outline of the stamp. It makes it look a bit vintage. I got this set from Amazon. And it's useful because it's got numbers as well. That's great. So I'll carry on doing the letters and then some embellishments. I'll put some nice music in the background. So thank you for joining me for a quick update and continuing on our page. And I'll see you soon. But carry on watching the video while I finish embellishing it. Thank you. Okay, well, you join me as I finished my Aesop's Fables page. I've done the cover. I found some old fabric and I've stamped using my stamps, wooden stamps, Aesop's Fables. And then you open it up and there is the goose with the golden egg. So I made some rough stitches on the nest to look like twigs, and I covered, so this is quite 3D, covered a oval shape for an egg with some gold lame sparkling fabric, and I added some detail to the wings, some feather details. I've done more with the eye and some feathers on this chest of the goose, and then I've stitched it to the front with quite rustic cross stitches, which I like. And then on the back I've included a little ladybird, you might call it ladybug. So this is a range of books that from my childhood, which is Ladybird books. So what I've decided to do, instead of doing lots more pages of different fables, this is what I'm going to do for my Aesop's Fables page, and then I'm going to add some other of my favourite Ladybird books. I bought some vintage ones that range from the 60s and 70s, and I'm going to do a page representing each of the different Ladybird books, and then I'm going to do a big cover over them all with a ladybird on the front saying Ladybird books. So that's what I'm decided to do. So this is technically the first page of the Ladybird books. So that's my Aesop's Fables. So next video, the next week of February, I'm going to be looking at some of my other books in the Ladybird range, and they all have this logo, so I'm going to stitch this on each of my pages. So I'm going to look at my next book, which I've decided to do butterflies, moths and other insects. So they all seem to have something in common, the Ladybird books. They have like a picture and then the text on the page opposite it. So I'm going to do something like that. I'm going to look through my butterfly fabrics, perhaps do some flowers in the background and have the butterflies as the showcase. And whatever butterfly I choose to do, I will then write about it on the opposite page. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's going to be my next book. And these will be future ones. Garden birds. And I can really remember this from my childhood, cooking with my mum. And we had this book. It's so 1970s. Look at that. So I'm going to look at a recipe. They've got some, look at this, different kinds of drinks, your favourite. So I'm going to include that. And they come up with the safety advice. I thought this was cute. Look, bend your knees and not your back when you put things into and take them out of the oven. So that's quite funny. So I will include something like that in a forthcoming page. But for now, that's Aesop's finished. And we'll move on to butterflies. So I hope you join me again. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.